Welcome to the Vault Excel. Thank you for joining me. This is a three-part live pertaining to a mother in Florida who left her children inside of a car while she shoplifted inside of Dillard's with a male. The car caught on fire. One of the children was badly burned, first-degree burns. I do not have an update pertaining to the status of the children, but that's the latest. A hot dog from Sonic laced with a bag of cocaine. A woman has come forward to say she bit into a hot dog laced with cocaine. And 6 Portland women have been found dead. Police say they are not connected. This is a 3-part live. Let's start with the women in Portland, Oregon. Thank you for your time. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $Big Angie 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are welcome during the live stream. KGW8 News is the source.
Human remains discovered in rural Clackamas County have been identified as a Portland woman who vanished in late March. Ashley Reel is one of 5 women to disappear and then turn up dead, all in the last 6 months. Let's bring in our Mike Fenner, who's been looking into this for us. And Mike, do detectives believe any of these cases are connected?
Actually, we've heard from 2 of the law enforcement agencies handling these cases, and basically they're not ruling anything out at this point. They're talking with partner agencies on the off chance these cases are somehow connected. And this comes as a relief to the family of one of the 5 victims.
These woods off Southeast Judd Road in rural Clackamas County is where deputies discovered the remains of Ashley Reel. The 22-year-old was last seen in late March at a fast food restaurant and transit center in East Portland. These photos of Reel are some of the last before she turned up dead in that heavily wooded area.
It's just so heartbreaking, and it's really hard to, I don't know, put into words, I guess, just how heartbreaking it is. No matter the circumstances, that's somebody's baby.
Robin Speaks did not know Reel, but she's following her case closely because, like Reel, Robin's sister Joanna Speaks vanished in late March and turned up dead in early April in a rural area of Clark County.
We've gotten through the celebration of life, and we were able to, come together for that, which was really awesome. But now it's kind of like hitting us more that it's real, and now we keep seeing on the news all these new girls.
All these new girls, 5 in total. We've told you about Speaks and Reel, but then there's Bridget Webster, whose body was found in late April in northwest Polk County. About that same time, authorities discovered the body of Charity Perry in Ainsworth State Park. Perry had been missing since early March. And then there's Kristen Smith, who vanished in December of last year. The 22-year-old's body was found 2 months later at Southeast Deerdorf Road in Flavel in Portland.
With each one, we've, as a family, we've talked about it, we've shared it, we've looked at the details, we've talked to the detectives to see if there are any similarities.
We too reached out to detectives with all of the agencies investigating these disappearances and deaths. The Polk and Clackamas County Sheriff's offices got back to us, and they're both talking to partner agencies to see if their respective cases are at all connected to any others.
I don't want to ever scare people, but also reality is there are women dying at just awful numbers.
While it's unclear if any of these cases will turn out to be connected, Robin Speaks says one thing is very clear.
Women need to pay attention, and they need to know that there are dangers, and they're clearly taking the lives of people that we love.
Our hearts go out to the Speaks family and really the families of all 5 women. If you happen to know anything about any of these cases, you're to pick up the phone and call police. Back.
All right, everybody. That's my first topic. I'm going to bring you information pertaining to these women. It has been said they're not connected. The police has given their commentary, but naturally, it's not good to, give comments on something you don't know as of yet. Now, have they started investigating each person missing to say that this one isn't connected to this one? I don't know. But my thing is, if they're within a couple of miles radius discarded, you may have the same killer. They may have been murdered by the same person. And naturally, when they're discarded, in far off places, such as one in a barn, one in the woods, one in another set of woods, you start to wonder. And if they're in close proximity, you're definitely going to wonder. You're also going to ask the manner of death. Was the manner of death strangulation or blunt force trauma, suffocation? What? So how did the women die? How did they get there? Are they in similar demographics, such as miles apart? I did learn that one or more were discarded 3 miles away. That's not a lot. 3 miles is not very far. Let me bring you information pertaining to the 6 women. Thank you for joining me. OregonLive.com is the source. 6 women found dead in near Oregon in less than 3 months, most in secluded wooded areas. 6 women, most with connections to the greater Portland area, and all under the age of 40, have been found dead within 100 miles of each other the past 3 months, most in wooded or secluded areas. It is unclear what, if anything, connects the women's deaths and disappearances, which are being investigated by the Portland Police Bureau and sheriff's offices in Multnomah, Polk, Clark, and Clackamas counties. All of the women were believed to have lived in or frequented Oregon. 2 bodies were found on the same day, and 2 of the women were found dead less than 3 miles apart in southeast Portland. Portland Police spokesperson Sergeant Kevin Allen said the police bureau has been fielding questions about the 6 deaths, but can only speak about the 2 it is investigating. And there's an update also in this article that states the Portland police say there is no link between the cases. Here is the timeline of the women who were found. February 19th, Kristen Smith, 22, of Gresham, was reported missing December 22nd. Portland police officers responded February 19th to a report of human remains found in a wooded area near Southeast Deerdorf Road and Flavel Street in Southeast Portland's Pleasant Valley neighborhood. The police bureau identified the body as Smith on May 25th. Officers and county investigators searched the area for evidence, and the Multnomah County, I hope I'm pronouncing this correct, Multnomah County medical examiner has not yet determined a cause of death, police said. April 8th, Joanna Speaks, 32, of Oregon. Police and firefighters in Clark County found Speaks dead inside a barn on April 8th at an abandoned property in Ridgeville, Washington, about 22 miles north of Portland. Officials responded just before 6 p.m. to report a dead person at the property near 800 block of South 5th Street in Ridgeville. The county medical examiner determined Speaks died of blunt head and neck injuries. The Clark County Sheriff's Office is investigating the death as a homicide and says Speaks' body was moved to the location where it was found. April 24th, Charity Lynn Perry, 24. Multnomah County Sheriff's deputies found Perry's body shortly after 1:30 p.m. on April 24th in Covert at East Historic Columbia River Highway and Northeast Tomahawk Road near Ainsworth State Park in East Multnomah County. The sheriff's office has not released additional information, citing an ongoing suspicious death investigation. Perry, 24, was frequently seen near the Southwest Washington Street and 4th Avenue in downtown Portland at the beginning of March, the sheriff's office said. That area is home to the Washington Center building, the site of a former open-air fentanyl market that was cleared by police earlier in April after 11 people overdosed in one night in that area, 3 fatally. April 24th, unidentified woman. Officials found a woman dead April 24th near Interstate 205 and Southeast Flavel Street in Southeast Portland's Lentz neighborhood, less than 3 miles from where Smith's body was found. And the same day, officials found Perry's body in East Multnomah County. The Multnomah County Medical Examiner's Office is seeking the public's help in identifying the woman, who was possibly Native American or Alaskan Native between the ages of 25 and 40. County officials said she had black, medium-length hair, was just over 5 feet tall, weighed 135 pounds, and had 2 large scars on her left lower leg. Officials say the woman had 2 noticeable tattoos, a black music note with the letter V on the left side of her upper chest, and a depiction of Buddha on her right upper back. The woman was found wearing rings and bracelets, a green long sleeve shirt, a black and white zip-up jacket, jeans, and black and white Adidas cleats. April 30th, Bridget Leanne Ramsey Webster, 31, of Milwaukee. Officials found Webster's body shortly before 2:30 p.m. on April 30th on Harmony Road near Mill Creek in northwest Polk County. She was known to frequent the Portland metro area, particularly Portland, Oregon City, and Milwaukee, according to the Polk County Sheriff's Office, which is investigating the death as suspicious. May 7th, Ashley Real, 22, of Portland. Real disappeared March 27th in southeast Portland and was last seen leaving a fast food restaurant in the 12,000 block of Southeast Division Street, police says. Portland. On May 7th, a man fishing at a pond in the 29,000 block of Southeast Judd Road in the Eagle Creek area called 911 after seeing human remains in the heavily wooded area. The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office identified the body May 31st as Real's and is investigating the suspicious death. So 6 women, one identified as Alaskan or Native Indian descent, medium hair, dark hair, medium length. 2 found 3 miles apart. Are we talking about 1 killer or more? 1 or more. At the beginning of this audio, you heard one of the sisters speaking pertaining to her missing sister. And the police have made commentary that they're not connected to deaths, and they do not like the fact that people are putting out rumors on social media that it's a serial killer or it's the same person. Let's speak to 2 of these other women. One you've already heard from pertaining to the deaths of these women. Thank you for joining me, everybody. One second, please. Fox 12 is the source. Excuse any noise you hear in the background. This is like jungle gym heaven. Whew, mercy. Trying to get this audio to play. For some reason, it's taking its time. Well, let's try to get it to play. Hello, everybody in the chat. I mean, really, it's just noise 24 hours. The only time that people don't make noise is when they're sleeping, when they're gone. It's ridiculous. Small child. I mean, I think there's something wrong with the kid because the child never sits still. It's very strange to me. I understand children have to play. That's why you take your children outside and play. You can't say, well, I don't want my child cooped up, but your child is cooped up. If your child's inside all day playing, that's cooped up. That's not taking your child out to be out in nature and run off their nervous energy. You take children outside. You don't leave children inside to play all day. That's just ridiculous. It's warm weather. There's no reason for a child to be inside all day. But this is what happens when you have young parents. They're ignorant and oblivious to what is common sense. That's just my opinion. I can't get this article to play for some reason. Well, I'm just going to give you the source because Fox 12 Oregon, basically the police is saying that the 6 women found dead around Portland Metro cases are not connected. Because for some reason I can't get this content to load. Why, I don't know. But hello, Heather. Thank you for joining me. Hello, everybody in the chat. Melinda, Lady Low, Don, Patricia, Hippie. I'm going to go on because I don't want to hold up my live stream trying to load up some content. Is there a connection between the 6 women? I do not know. 3 miles is not very far. And if it's on the same route, same path, it could possibly be the same person that has killed the women. And as I said, one woman is unidentified and she is believed to be Alaskan or Native American. That is the said information. Please go back to the beginning of this live to get the said names of the women who I mentioned that went missing and now have been found deceased. Next topic is about a laced hot dog. This is crazy. Found in a woman's food order at a Sonic upstate. One moment, please.
Somebody found something very surprising in their fast food order in northern New Mexico recently. Police say when a woman just bit into her hot dog, she was also biting down on a bag full of cocaine. Tommy Lopez breaks down what else investigators are revealing tonight.
A bag of cocaine and a fast food hot dog. Police say Celine Gonzalez got that surprise Tuesday. She was doing something many of us enjoy in the summertime. Just going out, getting a hot dog to go. She got it at the Sonic in Espanola on South Riverside, took a bite, and realized she'd bitten down on a small plastic bag filled with the white powder, officer said. Police claim testing confirmed it is a gram of cocaine. In their report, officers say Gonzalez spit out the bag, but didn't say whether she ingested any of the drug. Word has already spread around town, but this Sonic is still open, and many people got food while we were here.
I think that's pretty scary. First of all, we come here to get food and for our families. And if a child found that, it could have been pretty bad or deadly.
It's kind of crazy. I mean, cocaine in a hot dog, doesn't sound right. But, I just got an ice cream. I hope we're good.
Police
Doesn't sound right.
Is responsible.
Okay.
They charged David Salazar with cocaine possession, a felony. Police say they watched surveillance video from inside the Sonic and claim after making Gonzalez's food, Salazar looks like he's frantically searching for something he lost. Officers say he admitted to them that it was his cocaine. He says he bought it from someone in the Sonic parking lot. In Espanola, I'm Tommy Lopez, KOB4.
So we did speak over the phone with somebody who says they're a supervisor at that Sonic location. However, they would not comment or answer any questions about what exactly happened there.
KLB4 is the source. Let's pull up some information pertaining to this laced hot dog, or as somebody in the chat would say, loaded hot dog. You guys are killing me. But exactly, thank God no child had gotten a hold of the hot dog. Now I don't even have the content. This is crazy. Oh, my movie of the week is The Hunt for the I-5 Killer, now playing on Lifetime and via the YouTube queue. If you are interested, thank you all so very much. And also, the infamous spy that gave information to Russia has been found dead in his cell. Mr. Hansen, the infamous Mr. Hansen. A movie was done about him many years ago. A very good movie. I can't remember the name of it, but when I find it, I'll put it on my community board. I can't even find this article. Hold on one second, you guys, because now I'm going to have to try to pull it up. Thank you all so much for joining me. Let's see. I think I had it and I didn't save it. Well, because I always keep my articles in another place. Police in Espanola, New Mexico said on Thursday that a woman reported finding a bag of white powder in a hot dog she ordered at a Sonic. In a courtroom. In a court document, officers wrote that Celine Gonzalez got the hot dog Tuesday at the Sonic on South Riverside and discovered the bag after taking a bite. Police claim testing confirmed it contained a gram of cocaine. In their effort, officers said Gonzalez spit out the bag, but they didn't say whether she ingested any of the drug. Thursday, KOB4 crew saw that the Sonic is still open. I think that's pretty scary. We come here to get food for our families, and if a child found that, it could have been pretty bad or deadly, one woman said after ordering food, and you just heard her also say that in the KOB4 News interview. That's kind of crazy, one man said while leaving the location. I just got ice cream. I hope we're good. And this guy sounded like he didn't really believe the cocaine story. So I'm going to tell him it happened because they have the man on surveillance acting frantic after making a transaction as if he's looking for something after the transaction. And he does admit to having the cocaine, sir. So she didn't plant it in her hot dog. Let me finish this commentary. Police said a cook is responsible. They charged David Salazar with cocaine possession, which is a felony charge. Officers said they watched surveillance video from inside the Sonic and claimed after making Gonzalez's food, Salazar looked like he was frantically searching for something he lost. Police said he admitted to them it was his cocaine and told them he bought it from someone in the Sonic parking lot. KOB4 spoke over the phone with someone who said they are a supervisor at the location and they would not comment or answer questions about what happened. KOB4 is the news. So this is where I'm confused. The article states they saw him on the camera making a transaction inside of the store, but he admits, yes, it's mine, but I got it from somebody in the parking lot. Could it be that he doesn't want to admit that he bought it from an employee as to get that person in trouble? Because you know, people who are in the dope game, whether they're a user or a seller, and they are sticking by the street code, thou shalt not snitch. So is it that he's trying to make it seem like he bought it from somebody in the parking lot, not giving up their name, as not to rat out the person who works at the restaurant that sold him the cocaine or gave it to him? Who is the person that he purchased the cocaine from, if indeed it is an employee? What type of BS is this? See, this what leads you to believe that, hell, you were doped up possibly while you're making people's food with your nasty tail. And I tell people this. I'm going to say this, and I probably don't say it enough. Let me say this to some of you who love to eat out, such as myself. We get lazy. We don't want to cook. We don't have time to cook, whatsoever. If you could see how people lived in their apartments, their houses, you wouldn't eat out. Checkmate. I'm going to let you marinate on that for a minute. If you saw how people lived in their homes or whoever they're staying with, you would not eat out. If you knew their hygiene practices, come on with it, Queen, you would not eat out. Have you paid attention to the cashier touching your cup? Dirty fingernails, nasty fingernails. nasty hair, dandruff in their hair, dandruff in their eyebrows. I pay attention to all of that. Now, stand at the register and look back through the kitchen and get a glimpse of what's working back there. Touching phones, no gloves, coughing, hacking. Now, this guy makes a transaction for cocaine, drops the damn baggie in the damn hot dog. So that means you were frantic when you got the cocaine, which would lead me to believe you were possibly high while cooking. Let me repeat that again. Were you high, Mr. Salazar, while on shift at the Sonic? How long have you been working at the Sonic? One could say, are you a current user? I need not ask if he's a user because he's buying the cocaine, and 9 times out of 10, he's not buying the cocaine for somebody else. You see, you don't know what's going on in a restaurant. Just the same as behind closed doors in somebody's house is all the same. People have nasty hygiene, nasty practices, and they come to work stinky, funky, nasty, disease-ridden, all of that, and they're fixing your food, coughing and hacking in front of the cashier, slumping over the counter, talking on the phone, slobbering over your good cup, ice cream. Excuse me. They've got hepatitis, they got tuberculosis, they got all that stuff, and handing you ice cream, handing you food wide open. I'm just saying. Restaurants are nasty because the people are nasty. People who are purchasing food, they're nasty. Transients running in and out of the restaurant, sitting and hanging around, nasty. And the people working at the register, nasty. People cooking the food, nasty. Now we've got somebody geeked up high 9 times out of 10, making transactions while he's on the damn clock and dropping a bag of cocaine in somebody's damn hot dog. That's got to be a mean ass hot dog. Because how could she not even see that when opening up the food? Because at first I thought he could deliberately put it there. So if he was looking for something, and it appears to be that he was on camera, that means he didn't deliberately lace the hot dog with the baggie of cocaine. What'd I do with that bag? Damn, I just bought it. Oops. In somebody's hot dog. Imagine that. So now she's got a nice little lawsuit. This is what I want to tell America, if you're listening. You all are just helping people get free money by doing stupid stuff. And naturally, the supervisor, manager, third key, whoever working shift, they possibly don't know he's a geeker. He gets high. He's making transactions in the restaurant, in the parking lot, whatever. But now your company's going to have to pay out a nice little fee to this lady who bit into a bag of cocaine. That's the bottom line. Because nobody knows what people are doing. But then the other side of Queen's brain is saying, you possibly do know you got a geeker on board, but you don't care because you need somebody to work that damn kitchen. And so long as he shows up, I don't care that he funky, nasty, geeking, high on meth, fentanyl, heroin, drunk, so long as he's fixing the hot dogs. And that's what's wrong with the world. You see things are not proper with your employees, but you still continue to let them work. Mm-hmm. So did anybody know that he got high, came to work high on the job, or used drugs? Because if it comes out that somebody knew that he was getting high on the clock or coming to work high, that's even more money in her pocket. Because that means you failed to exact due diligence and fire the worker. Because nobody wants a geeked up worker on their shift doing anything. Doesn't matter if it's the cashier, the cook, a manager, you're driving the tow truck, utility worker, school bus driver, it's all the same. You have a job to do. And you need to keep your devices off the clock. Because if you're a user, 9 times out of 10, if you don't have your drug habit under control, it's going to interfere with your work. That's my said commentary coming out of New Mexico. Last subject matter is pertaining to a dirty bird out of Florida. Please check Chris Thorne's for this content as well. I've asked him to do a live with me to discuss this situation of a very disturbed woman, trifling, I don't want to say disturbed, she's just trifling as hell, down there in Florida boosting while she left her children inside of a car. How about that? I'm going to put his link in the chat if you like to watch his video pertaining to this commentary. One moment, please. Thank you for joining me, everybody. 3-part live. Bear with me while I put this commentary inside of the chat. It's got a lot to type. Ooh, Lordy. Let's get to this content. Thank you for joining me. Third topic for this afternoon. For those of you following the Lloyd Vallow trial, as most of you know, she's been found guilty on said charges and will be going to Arizona to stand trial for the attempted murder of Brandon Boudreaux and then Charles Vallow, her late husband. And a trial date has been set for Chad Daybell for next spring of 2024. That is on my community board if you need verification. Thank you so very much. Once again, movie of the week is on Lifetime, The Hunt for the I-5 Killer. You can watch it via the YouTube queue. And please follow my extensive content on Natalia Grace. Take the polls on my channel. And also, I've uploaded content pertaining to a young girl who lived in a house with her briefly when they were shifting her around from place to place. And she stated that she was a girl child while she was staying in the house with she and her parents, who are also small people. Thank you for your time. Now, if I can find my content. Oh man, this is strange. Hold on one second. All right, Melinda. I don't know why I put this stuff up and I can't find it. One second, everybody.
Florida, a woman who was caught shoplifting found herself dealing with a big and different problem. The woman's car suddenly caught fire with her children inside it. Shoppers in the area helped rescue the two children. We're told one of them suffered from some first-degree burns. Police arrested 24-year-old Alicia Moore and charged her with aggravated child abuse and several other crimes. She has pleaded not guilty. The cause of this fire is unknown.
Cause of fire unknown. Let's talk about that for a second. I did tell this chat I wouldn't be talking about children's stories except for those that I've already covered and waiting on an update for trial. But this was an interesting story when I saw it last week, and I decided to talk about it because of the heinousness of child neglect and now her being charged with child neglect and arson. And we're going to talk about what's this karma coming back to this mother for leaving her children unattended. Let's talk about this subject matter. CBS News is the source. A Florida woman faces charges of aggravated child neglect arson after her car became engulfed in flames while she was allegedly shoplifting at a mall in Central Florida, according to an arrest report. Alicia Moore, 24, parked her car in a parking lot outside of Dillard's, a department store at Oviedo Mall on May 26, according to an arrest filed by the Oviedo Police Department. The report indicated Moore left children inside the vehicle. Their names and ages were redacted. CBS Miami reports there were two youngsters in the vehicle. Security saw Moore and an unknown man shoplifting in Dillard's, according to the report. After about an hour, Moore began leaving Dillard's to see her car engulfed in flames and dropped the merchandise before she left the store. Bystanders at the mall saw the car and rescued the children inside as they tried to escape the flames. The children were taken to Orlando Health Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children. One child suffered first-degree burns to her face and ears, the report said. Moore has been charged with aggravated child neglect for allegedly allowing children who could not care for themselves alone inside the vehicle, according to the report. Police said they don't know what caused the fire, but said it's unlikely the children would have been injured if Moore was not being neglectful, quote unquote. Moore was also charged with arson because the fire occurred while she was allegedly committing a felony, the arrest report said. The public defender's office was representing Moore, according to court records. Email seeking comments sent to the office late Saturday wasn't immediately returned. She's being held on a $40,000 bail. CBS Miami says she pleaded not guilty. Public defender filed a motion Friday asking for Moore to be released without bail or to have the bail amount reduced to a reasonable and affordable amount. CBS News is the source. No, she does not need to be released. No, she does not need her bond reduced because she didn't care about leaving her children in the damn car. Do not know if the windows were rolled up, rolled down. Do not know if the car door was locked. People help get the children out, so you got to ask yourself, did they break out windows? Was the doors accessible to open? How did the car catch on fire? Were the children in there rambling with something, playing with a lighter, matches, or were there exposed wires where they rigged the car? It's my understanding that the car was stolen. So now you're talking about a whole nother subject matter. You're in the store stealing with a man, possibly a friend, boyfriend, whatever. Children left in a car catches fire. One of the children gets first-degree burns. Luckily, they were able to be gotten out of the car without the other people endangering their lives to save your children. It's obvious she's probably done this before, leaving her children in the car unattended, leaving them at the house unattended, throwing them off every time, Dick and Harry. She also is facing other warrants at the time of going to the hospital with her kid. And this is content I got from an article that Mr. Chris Thorne sent to me. Very, very disturbing information. Very disturbing. Before I play some of Chris's content, please check out the Chris Thorne show. She's done this before. 9 times out of 10, this is her way of making quick money, boosting, stealing things out of stores. She probably won't get a theft charge because she dropped the items in the store and might understanding is that it's only theft until you walk out of the store with the items. But then she gets a felony charge and an arson charge because they're saying she committed a felony, which led to the car catching on fire, which was stealing. So go figure. Will she get a theft charge as well? Because that's what the arson charge is stemming from, committing a felony. Then she neglected the children. And basically they're saying if you hadn't neglected the children, the car wouldn't have caught on fire. Well, the car probably is going to catch on fire anyway, because let's just say it was a faulty car. Not a faulty car, but you've got wires exposed. So we don't even know what they did to get the car started. Another thing, as Chris said, or somebody else said, Brittany made this comment, I believe, last night. Maybe the car was still running. Very good point. Was the car still running? So you got wires exposed, jimmied up. Car got too hot, perhaps, with the wires running, because we've known people to jimmy the cars and be driving them around, but do they leave them running? What's the hazard of leaving a car running with wires jigged up? That bad boy caught fire. You look at the pictures on the news, it ain't a pretty sight. It ain't a pretty sight. $40,000 bail. Should it be more? While her defense attorney saying, hey, this is unreasonable. Well, guess what? Them first degree burns, they're unreasonable. How about that? Almost losing your life is unreasonable. Child neglect, unreasonable. Leaving your kids in a fucking car and running around stealing in a mall is unreasonable, sir, ma'am. Has she done this before? Left her children unattended in cars while she stole? Left her children unattended at the house? How many children does she have total? What are her other warrants for in other jurisdictions? Imagine that, going to the hospital to see about your child that you left, your children you left unattended in the car that caught on fire, and they pick you up because they run your name and realize, oh, we're looking for you anyway. We're looking for you anyway. Let's hear a bit of Chris's content. Now, some of you do not care for a little bit of cursing, but Chris and I do tend to have a potty mouth, so pardon the language, but nonetheless, this is somebody else's content. Let's hear what Chris has to say. Hold on one second.
How ironic is that?
Hold on one second, everybody. Let me put this on my Bluetooth.
Bluetooth connected.
But neglect the children just to please him. How fucked up is that? How fucked up is that? Let me say it again. You neglect the children to go in there and shop with them. But make sure he tags along with you because you want to please him. And of course, he want to join the Fred's shoplifting. I'm telling y'all, this crazy, man. I just, I don't even know what to say. Let me be careful what I say because I ain't on YouTube. You know, YouTube ain't shit. But y'all know what? Don't let me tell y'all. Let me let y'all hear this fuckery yourself.
Lord have mercy.
And let's see what y'all said at the website real quick. I hear y'all popping over here. Robin girl there, hey, what's going on? Appreciate it. Robin, Barbara, night out. What? I thought I saw Robin girl. Get out. I thought I did. Yeah, motherfuckers didn't even think about that. Y'all can even.
I don't know, somehow it's on fire outside in the parking lot at Dillard's, and there's two kids and a mom. We now have the 911 calls from this car fire at the Oviedo Mall. A mother is accused of leaving her two young children in.
Them applause are different. Y'all see this shit? Y'all see that? People on the website, y'all see this shit? This is a motherfucking ridiculous. It is. This is a motherfucking ridiculous. That is a damn shame. And it's a miracle that the way the fire that you see right here, these children survive. It's a miracle they survive. That shit right there, they look like instant death.
but the baby survived. This shit is fucking scary. And you mean to tell me, if y'all gonna shoplift, and I'm not advocating for anybody to shoplift, but if you gonna shoplift, you mean to tell me that one of y'all gonna, somebody can say the car be a getaway driver while the other one do shoplifting? You mean y'all two airhead motherfuckers can even think about that? Y'all can even think about that. They both y'all had to go in there, go steal. All right? Nobody thought about it. You know what? Hey, one of them needs to stay back because once you're on your feet rolling, you jump in the car, go about business, and make sure the children sleep. Nope. Nobody thought about that. Both of you assholes went up there and did this and left the babies in the car and the car looking like this. This shit is scary as hell.
While she was shoplifting. And on top of that, police say that car was stolen.
Now you can see the video behind us.
The car was stolen as well. How about that?
Fire starts inside the car, of course, and that inferno grows fast. It actually blows the windows out. And Fox 35's Connor Hansen joins us live from the mall today. So, Connor, you've been listening to all these 911 calls. What have you heard so far?
Well, John, all of those callers obviously very alarmed to see such a huge fire that close to the Dillers behind me. Luckily, somebody was able to get to those two kids before things got much worse. And now it's those children's mother who is inside the store at the time who's facing an arson charge. Now, the camera on a nearby car in this parking lot caught a close-up view of that sedan going up in flames. Police say 2 and 4-year-old were left in the car for up to an hour while their mother went inside.
You heard that? 2 and 4-year-old left in the car for an hour. 2 and a 4-year-old left in the car for an hour. Why they go shoplift? Or 2 and a 4-year-old. Or people on the website, y'all hear this shit? Barbara, Light Out, or whoever else up there, y'all hear this shit? 2 and a 4-year-old left in the car for an hour while they shoplift.
Allegedly, the shoplift. We're told one of the children was able to open one of the car doors, and that's when a good Samaritan saw them and got them out. The kids were okay, but had minor burns. When the mother, Alicia Moore, went to the hospital with the two kids, police realized she had warrants for other crimes. Now she's also being charged with child neglect.
Warrants for other crimes. Again, how ironic. How ironic.
And arson.
Is she being charged with the arson because she did leave the kids alone in the car with some sort of lighter matches? I don't know what it was that set the car on fire, but the children are her responsibilities.
Now the state fire marshal is still working to find out exactly what started that fire. Reporting live in a video, Connor Hansen, Fox 35 News.
Some things you just can't fathom. A lot of things you just can't explain. Y'all ask the question why, and I'm telling y'all, I don't have the answer. All thing I can tell you is I got common sense not to do that because, again, my grandma instilled a lot of knowledge in me and my mom. And my dad instilled a whole lot of knowledge in me to not do dumb shit like that. Okay? But then again, you don't need nobody to instill knowledge in that. That should be common sense in the gimme not to leave children in the car.
Period.
By themselves. Maybe when we were growing up, yeah, maybe they can get a pass for because we wouldn't do nothing because a lot of them put the fear in us not to do nothing. But we in a different era now, and kids are curious. Okay? Kids are curious. You let them matches or lighter whether in the car, they got curious and start playing with the matches or lighter, and this is what happened, okay? Again, 2 airheads, some of bitches, sit up here and did this. Just when you think it can't get any worse, or just when you ask yourself, can it get any worse? It get worse every damn time. Every damn time. How many times you have heard the term, you play with fire, you get what? You get burned. You play with fire, you get burned. You play dumb games, you get dumb what? Dumb prizes. All right? For every action is an opposite what? reaction. That's with everything. For every action, there's an opposite reaction. Why we allow you too dumb to realize that? Why we allow you too dumb to realize that? Yeah, y'all on YouTube, y'all don't stay on YouTube. Please hit thumbs up for me. I mean, I think I should have more than 13 or 14 likes. Come on. Unless you just slow counting likes. I know sometimes it do get slow. And we got a couple of people on the website. Appreciate you. Y'all check it over there. Appreciate it. Y'all come on the website if you already signed up. You know what I'm saying? Check with the good people over there. Okay? Check with the good people over there. Well, like I said, why am I too dumb to realize that for every action is opposite reaction? Now, I'm pretty much sure you say the first time she's done that because look all this going against her. Stolen car, unidentified food, which I'm pretty much sure they're going to identify him after a while. Okay, stole the car, unidentified food, needed children in the car, then go shoplift. Just like the first time she did it, it's just the first time that it went sour. All right, the first time it went sour. Now, one thing I guess I can give us some good grace on, if it's safe to use that term, at least she went to the hospital to see if they okay. Some motherfuckers were still on the run because they're being selfish, make sure they don't get in trouble. But at least she went to the hospital to make sure they was okay. So I guess she had some kind of sympathy, not much, but she had some kind of sympathy for the children. But still, that's not enough to me, because if you had sympathy in the first place, you would never been to stolen car, you would never be in a car with some unidentified food, and you would never let them in the car to go shopping. Okay? All right? You youngins gonna learn one day. You youngins gonna learn one day. And I guess it's gonna take for a lot of you to get burnt in order for you to learn. Okay? But ma'am, you in trouble. You already had charges on you, so you're in trouble. 9 times out of 10, you probably lose your children. All right? You probably lose them. And I don't know how tight you were with your family members, but apparently, hey, they weren't saying nothing to you, or they probably was talking to you, but you didn't give it them. You so selfish, you got to do. You just got you going all crazy. You jumped on the beat one little time, your mind just blown. This is why I say, guys, it's selfish. A lot of stuff when it comes to these children, apparently it's selfishness. The responsibility to let them take care of children goes strictly out the window. Because they feel like the children is a burden, and they feel like they're children, they can't go do what they want to do anymore, which that's furthest from the truth. Just because you have a child or children doesn't mean your life is over. There's a lot of stuff that you can't do no more. I mean, I'm not saying do no more, but you probably can't do much of it anymore because you have a responsibility now. But it doesn't mean that your life is over. But y'all treat it as your life is over because you have a child. But let's just say your life is over because you have a child. Who fault that you have a child?
Exactly.
That's your
It's a choice.
All right? Hey, whoever the dude laid down and had a child with, I'm pretty much sure you knew that he probably wouldn't be here in the first place. You lay down and got pregnant by him. I mean, come on, man. It's called common sense. It's called common sense. And a lot of us does have common sense, but we act like we don't know how to use it. Amen? A lot of us have common sense, but we act like we don't know how to use it.
I'm going to stop right there. This content was uploaded 2 days ago to Chris Thorne's show. Let me interject here. This is my third topic for this live stream. She's facing charges, Alicia Moore, for arson, child neglect, 2 children, 2 and 4. One had severe burns to the face and ears. When you look at the photograph in this said content that Chris is showing, you will see smoke billowing out, fire billowing out of the driver's back window, glass blown out. So this is dangerous here. Besides the fire, the smoke, now you have glass blowing out of a window with 2 small children inside. So you have to ask the questions. Were the children in their seat belts? Were they in car seats? So you have to ask all these questions. Were they even inside seated, buckled in? How many times have they been left unattended in a car? Period. Whose car was it that was stolen? Where did the car come from? Who stole the car? The mother or this guy? Is this guy her boyfriend, part-time lover, baby daddy? How many times has she been leaving her children unattended? How many times has she been going in stores, stealing and leaving her kids in the car? Why didn't she find a babysitter, somebody to keep her kids while she goes and steal? Hey, we know the street life. All you have to do is say, hey, I'll get you a little something from the store and you keep my kids. Quit playing. May not be favorable to some of you, but that's the street life. She could have offered somebody something, money, something to keep her children. Does she have family? Why didn't she have somebody that could keep her children? Well, we're in a day and time where people got to work just to pay bills because it's so expensive to live. Maybe there was nobody for her to ask to keep her children. What does she do for a living? Does she go to school? Does she work? It's in the daytime. Possibly she didn't have a job. So this is her hustle, stealing. And it is a hustle for many people. Now, a lot of people don't steal anymore because of security tags and the risk of being caught, going to jail. A lot of people still, they don't have drug habits. So let's ask that. A lot of people do steal. They do have drug habits. Does she have a drug habit? The guy she's running with, does he have a drug habit? What's this to fuel a drug habit? So you have to ask all those questions. Does she have charges against her for theft? Did those warrants she have are pertaining to not showing up for court costs, fines, not paid, violation of probation? What are the other charges against her? Does she have other theft charges? Is she a current drug user, addict, or she was just stealing to make money? Who is the guy to her? Whose car is that they stole? Where is the car from? Where is the owner? Is this an issue of she bought the car and didn't return it on time? So when we say stolen, it could be actually stolen from someone's house or street, or it was borrowed but never returned. Which is it? Grace of God, the children did not die inside of the car. Because when you look at the smoke coming out of the car and the fire, you're going to use deduction that the children were possibly in the back seat, assumedly. And someone risked their life to go in and get those kids out of there. And as you hear Chris say, at least she had enough sympathy to go to the hospital with her children to check on them. But where she didn't have common sense was leaving them in the car unattended while she did wrong. And you never take your children to do wrong. You never use your children to do wrong. And we've heard of people using their children to steal, taking their children to stores and strollers and putting items in the buggy, the stroller, concealed under the child. You don't do that. You don't take your children in the store while you're stealing. You don't use your child to steal with them in the cart, in the stroller with stolen items. You don't take your kids in the car with you while you're running them out to steal. Oh, I'll be in right quick. 1 hour is a long time. The children could have been abducted. The children could have got out of the car and ran out into traffic. Somebody could have picked them up walking. This girl is a fool. And 9 times out of 10, she's done this before. She doesn't care about herself. Because what you have to always think about is your livelihood while you are parenting. And when you're running into the law, getting in trouble with the law, and you have children, that means you don't care about one, yourself, and you don't care about your kids. And you have to remember self is first. Self-preservation is always first. So if you don't care about yourself, you can't care about your children. So she's been a little troublemaker at 24. So then you have to go back to the demographics of who she is and where she came from. Who's her mommy and daddy? Who raised her? What made her start stealing? It's an easy hustle for those that don't know. That's why people do it. Even if they're not addicted to cocaine, drugs, fentanyl, still, you see other people doing it. Okay, I'll do it. But the bad part is you have children. If you're going to use this as your hustle, you can't be going to people's stores stealing knowing there's a chance that you can be caught. Then your children are with you. So then that means they'll have to be handed over to the police, and then the social workers involved, and they call the state, so on and so forth. Now somebody's got to come pick up your children. Now imagine you don't have nobody to come pick up your children. So now your children are going into foster care. Now you got to try to hurry up and get your ass out of jail to try to get your children back. Then you got to be going to court. And these are heavy charges if a judge decides to let you out of jail. Ting. And what social worker going to give your kids back after this fiasco? Hell no. And yes, we have seen children get back with their families with child abuse allegations. But I don't think a judge would give her kids, a family court judge would say, yeah, we're going to let her have her kids while she goes to court to face these charges, because the first thing they're going to say is, we can't trust you to be taking care of these children. You'll probably go back in the store still again while out on pretrial release or facing these charges. Hell no. And then you're already wanted on other charges. So no, you can't get your children back. Even if you can make bond, you can't get your children back. She'll probably never get her children back, no matter what is rendered in court with this charge of arson, neglect, and her other said charges. Did somebody from the family step up to take the children? Or are they in foster care at this moment? What is the severity of the burns? First degree? What is the status of the child and the other child? Once again, grace of God. Thank you, Jesus. Somebody got the children out of the car, because you're still risking your own life to save a person from a burning car, house, building. But it goes to show you we have good people out here, decent, noble people that want to do the right thing, even if it means endangering their own life. I brought you this story because I was just mortified. And let's be truthful. You're hearing more and more people leaving their children in hot cars. Let's talk about that, then I'll check out of here. To me, this is no different than leaving a child in a hot car. What's the difference? Every year in the summer, you hear of a child being left in a hot car and found dead inside of a car. And the first thing we hear from the parent, I forgot. Such as a case I saw recently. The parents went to church and forgot about their child in the back seat. How in the hell you went to church and forgot about your child in the back seat of the car? Make me understand. How is it that all of these parents, black, white, Hispanic, whatever race, whatever age, they don't remember that they have a whole kid? You forgot you have a toddler. You forgot you have an infant in the back seat of a carrier or car seat, a whole child that belongs to you, you forgot. Now, I can see a person rushing around, leaving work, got errands to run, and they forget to pick up their child from the daycare, the babysitter, or they're trying to get to them, or the time slipped away. To me, that's different than the child is actually in the car with you. So you jumped out of your car, SUV, and forgot that you packed a whole child in the back seat with you on your journey. You want me to believe that? That makes no sense to me. How can you forget a whole kid in the back seat when you were the one that put the child back there? As I said, this is not a case of you left the child at the daycare, family, friend's house, you lost track of time and forgot, oh, I got to stop by the daycare and pick up my kid, or you got busy and sidetracked. The child is in the car with you, but you forgot your whole kid. To me, this is the same BS. And I believe a lot of people are checking out of the mommy daddy hood and using this, I forgot my child in a hot car, as an excuse to kill their child. That's my opinion. Because when you have children, you are to be mindful of them. You're responsible for them. This is not a teenager. You let your child run around and hang around in the streets and going here and there. Hey, mommy, I'm gone. I'm going to the mall. And then they stay gone for hours. We're talking about a baby that can't fend for himself or herself. And they are actually in the same car house with you, but you'd have forgot about it. I don't believe that. I believe people are checking out of mommyhood, daddyhood. They no longer want to be a parent. And this is the excuse they use. Oh, I forgot and left them in the car. This is the first time I've ever heard people going to church to praise the Lord and left their child. And naturally, everybody was, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. Oh, how terrible. So you probably feeling more sorry for them because they're at the Lord's house and left their kid. Not Pookie Ray Ray over here that left their kid at the damn Dollar General. You see where I'm going? And I believe they're a white couple. So a lot of people probably feel real sorry for them. But would you feel sorry for them if they were a black couple, Hispanic couple, and left their kid in a car going to church or to the mall or to somebody else's house? I'm just saying. Because race does play a big part if you're charged for leaving your child in the car and they die. No way. No way I believe this. And just like I had a woman comment on my channel years ago about that man that left his child in the car after he took the child to eat and he went to the car dealership and shut the door. This lady had the nerve to say, you don't know him and blah, blah, blah. He would never do this. I said, well, obviously you don't know him. Because if you knew him well enough, you would know he was a decent enough person. He would have never left his child in the damn car. He just took the child to get something to eat. How would he have forgot about him that fast? They got him on camera going into the restaurant, coming out with the child, getting in the car, and then he went on to work. And he also took a lunch break. So you got to ask yourself, where did he go on the lunch break, if I'm not mistaken? He knew all along the child was in the car, and a lot of dirty things came out about this man soliciting children, a girl asking her for naked pictures. He was a busybody. He was online, I believe, porn sites, and doing all type of nasty things with underage children. He was a dirty bird. So he checked out of daddyhood. And this is what happens when they start digging in these people's past. You find out some not so nice things about them. He checked out of his life with his wife, his duties as a husband, and his duties as a father. And you can't be in tune to your child, wife, children if you're on porn sites, you're messaging little girls, you're messaging other women, you're meeting up with other people, you're soliciting other people for sex and rendezvous. You've checked out. And this situation with these children left in the car is no different. Her hustle was more important. Instead of her paying somebody to keep her children, and she's running around the mall and different places with some guy, and that was her focus at that time. But look at the payoff. You see, karma is a you-know-what. And I believe this is her payback for running around with a man, woman, whoever, stealing out of stores and leaving her children unattended. The universe said, you're not going to keep doing this, ma'am. I can show you better than I can tell you. You won't be stealing anymore. You won't be leaving your children unattended anymore. So the universe had to get it back. It's called karma. Karma came home, rightfully so. And by the grace of God, the children did not perish inside of that burning car. Do not leave your children unattended. In the house, in the car. Some will feel safer in the house than say you're outside in the garden or something like that. The children cannot get out of a baby gate or a crib or a playpen, because it's only a quick moment that a child can climb out of something and get into something, even if you just went outside to check the mail. But a whole car unattended with strangers walking about, you know, is a no-no. Running into the Dollar General to pick up a pizza, hell no. All it takes is for a child to push the car out of gear, the car is running, whatever. Windows up, too hot, child can suffocate. Common sense. Don't leave your children unattended in a car, no matter the season. Windows up, windows down. Don't leave them in a fucking car. Whether you're doing wrong or right, do not leave your children unattended in the car. And if you have decided to check out of being a parent, then you need to pass the baton over to somebody else that can rightfully take care of your child. And then we also have to pray that whoever gets that baton, that they will do right by your child, because we have learned from situations such as this, the children go into foster care and other places and they end up being abused, no different than where they just came from. And that is the dirty business of foster care, adoption, and passing children on to the next place. There are no guarantees. And that's the one thing I try to tell people in talking about true crime. If a person's biological parent would mistreat them, why would you think a stranger would do better? And in some instances, strangers have done better by children, by people in general, but there's still no guarantees. So when you are out here sleeping, slumbering, having sex, use a condom, use birth control. Don't have any children. You've got children that's not working out. You're not faring well. Don't have any more. You feel like you cannot cope with the child or children you have, then seek an alternative. But leaving them alone, abusing them, letting other people come around them to abuse them, it's not the answer. Stop procreating. That is what needs to be told to humans. Use protection. Save a life. If you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution and not the problem. Mind the children. Thank you for your time. This was a 3-part live pertaining to a mother leaving her children in a car while she and another male stole items out of a dealer's in Florida. The car caught fire. One of the children got first-degree burns. She's facing aggravated charges, child neglect, and arson. A hot dog from a Sonic's was laced with cocaine in a bag. A man has admitted to losing the bag inside of the Sonic restaurant, and a woman bit into it. Does not say if she ingested it or not. And 6 Portland women have been found dead. Police are saying they are not connected, but we will see if they are. One has been unidentified as Alaskan or Native American. Thank you for your time. If you like to donate to this great network, $DeganG129 Cash App, stickers and chats are welcome in the live stream. Thank you, Mr. Chris Thorns, for your content. If you all like to hear stories about children, child neglect, and awful stories, because he talks a lot about neglected and abandoned and children that have been harmed, please go to his network, The Chris Thorns Show. He also has a website. I have decided not to talk about children's stories because I just don't want to keep talking about children's stories, and I no longer want to keep talking about grown people dying and being murdered either. But periodically, I will bring you a story pertaining to true crime of an adult. Thank you so much for your time. You all have a wonderful week. Once again, the movie of the week is The I-5 Killer. It is playing on Lifetime. Please check my community board for said updates, storylines, breaking news, and please take the polls on my channel pertaining to these news stories. Once again, Chad Daybell will be going to court next spring, 2024. Will the state offer the death penalty? Will he try to offer a plea if the death penalty is put on the table? I've also got wind from somebody that Mr. Chapin's family say they're not wanting to attend court. I can see why they would not, because of the gruesome details that will be laid out in court. Who wants to watch and see dirty pictures, nasty, filthy pictures of their slain child and other children played day for day in court? Everyone is entitled to his or her opinion. Thank you for your time. You have been listening to The Vault XL. You're welcome.